Hello everybody, RampageDon finally back with another video, going by SalamanderDon now, currently in Axolotl, touring through a different guild each season, seeing if I could make some new friends and get some more people amped to play the game. So we got a new video here today. I am going to be discussing what I would consider good strategies for new players, as well as key cards that they should be leveling. I've been hearing a lot of complaints about people being level 12 and whales and yada yada. I think what people tend to forget is that this game has been out for 2 years almost now globally, and almost 3 in the Asian market. So naturally, there's just going to be a lot of people who are level 12 with level 12 cards, especially how good the game is about giving out premium currency. If you haven't done so already, I would highly suggest checking out the classic challenge mode. It's open every 6 hours or every 5 hours for 3 hours. Costs 60 gems to get in, which, as a new player might seem like a lot. But if you get 4 wins before you get 3 losses, you're getting your currency back. Well, 55 gems instead of 60, but you're getting a whole bunch of other currencies as well. I think it's definitely worth it. We could definitely talk about potential decks for new players in challenge mode in another video, but today I want to highlight more the battlefield. So an old friend, guildmate of mine, Jmea, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, was kind enough to give me a couple of replay codes. I haven't actually watched any of these games yet, but I've got one from each faction where he is, I think, a level 9 account and beats a level 12. So, it's doable, everyone. You kind of need to focus on certain cards, and I think you need to have a game plan in mind in order to win, but it's doable. I've heard a lot of people saying that they see a level 12 and they immediately just give up. I understand that attitude, but I think it's the wrong kind of attitude. I think the best way, at least for me when I was first learning, figuring out what cards are the best counters to other cards, we're playing higher level people. Mostly because you have to play your most optimal if you have any chance of winning. Otherwise, the card level advantage is just going to compound on top of your mistakes, and you're just going to flat out lose. But anyway, let's get started with the first match. See how it goes. This should be a Republic code, I hope. Let's see. Hopefully I can read my own handwriting. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. We've got Jmea here versus Doamb, and looks like he's level 9, but you can definitely see the difference in card levels. 11s across the top for Beast. We've got 6s across the bottom for Republic. So my guess here is that Jmea is not going to play a card until his opponent does. While I'm not an advocate of this strategy when both players are at even card levels, if you are at a card level disadvantage, this is definitely the route to go. I bet you he opens up with some kind of hot shot play here. I don't think he'll drop this adrenaline right away. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Spawner, guarantee he drops the hot shot. There we go. Okay. Hot shot right into Leon. Making sure that that hot shot isn't touched. And it's just going to keep building up attack power for each one of these surprise cannon units that get spawned here. Hotshot and Adrenaline are definitely, I think, 2 great cards for new Republic players. Mostly because Hotshot can keep scaling with this attack over and over again. You can see he uses the Adrenaline to get it even faster. Look at how much damage that level 6 Hotshot did there. It's going to survive. It's going to stay outside of Guardian range, and okay, it forces another unit to be dropped. At this point now, he's got his minor mech and a catapod sitting back at his base to defend. So he's coming back right now with a 10 soul push, even being out leveled. 4 or 5 soul might not be enough to handle what this push is going to be. Ooh, 2 Marines and a Smart Shooter to support this. Alright, so I'm already a fan of the deck he's playing. Got a lot of key Republic cards. Definitely fits my style. But you can see here, just the soul advantage now. He doesn't have enough cards to play to get rid of all these Marines. And that, I think, should be enough to win this game here. Yeah, it is. Alright, so there you go. Game 1. Let's go back through and talk about some of these key cards here. I think Hotshot, extremely key card. I think Adrenaline, another really good card there. Smart Shooter and Marines, also 2 S-tier Republic cards. These are all really cheap costing cards that can get you a really big advantage. They're must answers. And then even something like a Smart Shooter only costs 2. So more often than not, people are going to be using at least 3 soul to counter that, which just gives you a 1 soul advantage. And it may not seem like a lot, but that could be a big deal, especially, if you're playing levels down. Let's move on to the next one. We are on to Alien. Ooh, so interesting deck here. Looks like Jmea is opting for a spawner style deck. Not particularly my favorite playstyle. I think it can be punished really hard. I do think spawners are, again, really good for newer players. Mostly because the longer a spawner is on the field, the more value you're getting for the soul cost. As you can see, though, he really hasn't played a spawner yet. I do like Broodworm as an opener, and here again we see Smart Shooter, just a super efficient card. Looks like his opponent is really going for this backline chip sort of damage, which isn't the greatest against Alien because of how many cheap spread units that they have. You can play 2 soul Terminites and potentially take out 3 backline units if they're already focused on the Guardian. Alright, so Goliath is another really good card in general, but I think a key card to level for newer players. Again, one, because spawners are definitely something newer players and under-leveled cards in general tend to struggle with. And 2, because an unchecked Goliath will just win you a game. And he works for both Republic and the Alien faction, so you're getting a 2-for-1 leveling a card like that. You saw there, rather than Adrenaline, Adrenaline's Republic only, but same concept. Rather than using the Adrenaline and getting the attack speed boost, he uses a Dissolve and gets the extra damage buff. When you're under-leveled, I think you need to end the game as fast as possible. The longer the game goes on, the more likely you are to either make a mistake or lose a little bit of the incremental advantage that you may have built up. So as a newer player, I won't want to say rush the game, but if you're getting out leveled, the faster you can end a game, the better it's going to be for you. Let's move on to our next faction. We are on to Beasts. I'm interested to see if he continues to play spawners here or if he does something different. My guess, though, is that he will probably be using Faceless Altars, maybe alongside Iglooms. There could be a Smart Shooter in there. I'm not really sure. Well, there's definitely the Igloom. Oh, and so you can see here, Faceless Saint, level 9, and Phoenixites, level 8. Faceless Saint, really, really strong card right now. We're in a super heavy tank meta. You're playing anything but Alien, I think it's a super good opener. You know, Alien does have Puppeteer. The last thing you want to do is drop 7 soul, get puppeted, and now you've got this huge tank right at your base with no soul to defend. A bunch of backline units come out here. Ooh, and he gets the second Faceless Saint, supported by the Igloom. The Igloom might do some work here. Depends on if these Penguins can get into range of the Guardian before the Saint does. But doesn't even matter since he summoned this Owl. Alright, he's got a Call of the Wild here. I'm wondering, you know, he's got the experience with all these ult accounts, so I will default to him with this Call of the Wild play. But I'm wondering if a Blood Ritual might not be better. If we're going along the logic that I said earlier on ending a game as fast as possible, Blood Ritual might be the card. But I don't know exactly how his deck is built, so there's a good chance that if he's primarily spawner builds, Call of the Wild might just be better for the full field buff. Another thing I think new players really need to focus on is knowing when to continue a push and when a push is over. So as you can see here in that last play, he played his Frogs, followed up with a Phoenixite, and even though there wasn't a whole lot to defend those, just that Shotgunner, he chose to end that push and charge up his soul again. You know, now is able to get a soul advantage or maybe tie by dropping these 2 Iglooms that counter the previous push. And now he can, you know, counter the counter with a much greater soul push. Ooh, this is going to be tricky. I'd like to see how he pulls this one out of the bag with a level 10 minor mech supported by the Hotshot and now a Catapod. So if you struggle with spawners, Catapod and Hotshot are 2 great cards for spawners. The AoE damage from Catapod is just kind of great in general, and we talked about Hotshot earlier. You know, as long as you can keep it safe, it's just going to keep building up that attack damage until it's one-shotting a bunch of stuff. Oh man, so honestly, I wouldn't expect a new player to win this game. I think the only reason this game is being won right now is because Jmea is a really good and smart player. That's not to say that Doug from Wild Beyond isn't, but Jmea has been playing this game for a long time and definitely knows the outs he needs to play to. You saw he got a bunch of incremental advantage off of his spawners. Those Faceless Altars really did a lot of work. Paired with the Dinofrogs, backing them up, you know, you got your front line swarm with the back line AoE, so all of your swarms could focus on maybe 1 or 2 units instead of, you know, getting all their damage spread around. Adds up really quick, whether they're attacking 1 unit or if they're spread across the 4 or 5 different units that they could be up against. Alright, let's move on to our last one. This should hopefully be an Empire. Alright, so again here you can see a lot of these key cards. It's got Faceless Saint, which covers 2 factions. Jacob, which is an incredibly powerful tank. 8 cost is a little much sometimes, but, you know, played at the right time, that card will win you a game on your own. And we've already previously talked about these Faceless Altars. What we haven't talked about yet is this Red Witch. Red Witch is really good. You know, it pairs with the Faceless Altars very nicely. You know, we talked about having your AoE backline to go with the spawner frontline. So you can see that they would combo very well. On top of that, you know, Red Witch has the sensibility where it just keeps getting increased damage. So, you know, a little bit of a nombo with spawners, but Empire tends to play less spawners. Faceless Altar might be the only one in here for him. So Red Witch is still a pretty good card in here. If for nothing else, just because it's really the only backline AoE Empire has. Another thing that you really need to be aware of as a newer player is your health is a resource. You only lose the game when your health is 0. So you don't always need to play a card to answer something in front of your Guardian, and I think that's a big mistake newer players make a lot. You saw there, Jmea ate all that damage, let his Guardian and the few faceless hands he had left take care of it. Alter putting in a bunch of work here now to get all those units bunched up, and then the Red Witch is here to finish it off with all that AoE damage. He's going to let this push build. He's got his tank now in front. This faceless Guardian needs to be answered on top of this Red Witch needing an answer, and he's just going to keep pumping out the sense damage on top of this Spine Shield now that he's at the Guardian, and this may be the end push right here. Ooh, that Dormorph comes way too late. Looks like he should have enough pressure here to end it. Yep, and there it is. Alright, so just to go over a few things, recap everything I said. I think for newer players, you need a strategy in mind. Your deck wants to be very focused on what your strategy is, and you want to get that strategy up and running as often as possible. I think key cards to level are definitely some of the legends. You definitely would like to level the shared faction cards if you can. You're getting a 2-for-1 there. You level a Hotshot, you can play in both Republic and Alien. You level a Faceless Saint, you can play in both Beast and Empire. So once you find those key cards like that, I think they're very good. They're definitely cards you want to max first. From there, it's definitely support cards. So if you're playing spawners, and one of the strengths of a spawner is 1, the long-term incremental advantage you'll get as they stay on the field, and 2, clumping units together. So again, your AoE backlines are definitely some of the better units to pair with spawners. On the flip side, Alien and Republic have extremely strong backlines. You've got stuff that is attacking way backline. You look at something like Hotshot attacking at a Guardian range 16, but then you get your smart shooters and your catapods that are attacking for 23. You've got your sniper at 25, your grenadier at 23, and then looking at aliens, we've got 18 for the Queen, 18 for the Prime Venomite, and then you still have your catapods and your smart shooters. Definitely take advantage of those extremely strong backline units. They're very cheap, and they do require answers. On the Eden side, right? Gaia and Eden, this is the Eden faction, I think? I can't even remember anymore. I always mix them up. You're a little bit more of a wombo combo. Beast is getting the incremental advantage off spawners and playing good support units with them. Each individual Beast unit is very strong. If you compare them to the soul costs of other faction units, they are usually the strongest of their soul cost. And then Empire is full-on wombo combo-y. They're going to be tough for newer players to play in general. They do like to play for the ×2 soul, and that's kind of going against the idea here of us trying to end the game as early as possible. I think a card that maybe we didn't get to see or highlight is Mad Axe. I think they're a very underrated card. 205 damage, but you're getting 3 of them, so that could really be 615 damage, and their attack speed is 1. There's not many units that have the full 1 attack speed. Ballista being another one. Green Archer can get there, but I'm pretty sure you need to play at least 2 other units before Green Archer gets to the 1 attack speed. So you definitely want to be taking advantage of cards like that if you're ending the game quickly. I'll end this here saying that if you're looking for more content, whether it's, videos, which hopefully we can start getting more of, but just discussion, whether it's deck help, how to counter something, or just talking about the game or other games in general, definitely come check out the White Lotus Discord. I'll post the link in the description of this video. I really hope this video helps people, maybe get someone inspired to go play the ladder a little more. Maybe it'll get some people inspired to not just quit if they see a level 12. I do understand card level difference can be very frustrating, but you also got to remember that cards don't gain a whole bunch of damage and life per one level. It's really got to be like 4 or 5 levels for you to really feel a difference between cards. So try not give up so fast, and I would definitely suggest, playing against those 12s, even if you're just playing for the tie. I think that could be a lot of fun. It's definitely very challenging, and you could learn some new strategies that you might not have thought of. But I guess that's where I'll wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll be able to get more videos like this out. See you guys around.